Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Realtor Reputation. This is episode 2, and we are here to continue our 2024 predictions for the year, our resolutions, all of that sort of thing, along with our ridiculous life happenings in real estate. I am April, and...
Hi, I'm Shannon. Welcome.
We have no official sponsor.
Well, Coca-Cola. If you'd like to sponsor us, please feel free. But this is who we have.
Do you drink regular Coke? I'm a Diet Coke.
I know it's so bad for you, but every now and then I just like a good regular Coke.
So I feel like that's our resolution. That's how it's going.
That's how it's going. I'm not on an alcohol or sugar-free diet yet.
So this podcast is about real estate, but ultimately how to navigate our day-to-day lives, plus working with buyers and sellers, taking care of our kids, being moms. We, again, have no sponsors. Mind you, we would have a sponsor if Chad were here to make our coffee. But Chad's not here to make us coffee today. So, needless to say, back to where I was. I get off track sometimes. Please subscribe, like, follow us on all social media outlets. This is The Real. We are here to quote Taylor Swift songs and all of the puns and all of the good, the bad, the ugly. Are you ready for it?
I'm ready for it. Let's get started.
Yes. Okay, so we are going to start with our first section, the mom moment of the week. So let's just continue on with our 2024 predictions, how that is going. Let's do a check-in. You're up first.
So we talked about, starting with exercising. So I researched it.
So you've gotten really far.
So, as you know, last time, we'll get into it later, but I talked about organizing. So that the Peloton is like cleaned off with the clothes so I can get to it.
That's perfect.
And I did find they have like Taylor Swift rides, which I'm so excited. I just haven't tried one.
Like all her songs.
Yeah, they have like whole like rides and everything.
Yes.
So I'm kind of excited about that. But I haven't quite gotten to that yet. I also saw like Orange Theory had a special. There's like a bar place. I really want to do yoga and Pilates. So if you in the comments have any like recommendations of your favorite, Sonoma County places that you'd like to go to to inspire me, or if you get like if you were a member and you like refer somebody, I will drop your name so you get like a free month or a discount.
Oh, look at that.
Just let me know. I'd be happy to do that for you.
She's ready to
research
and investigate.
I'm ready to like take the plunge. I may need a heart monitor.
Wait, my gym has a heart rate monitor. We have hot Pilates. We have spin classes. We have all of the things.
You do?
We have boot camp. Yeah.
So how many do you go to?
I mean, I do try. My goal.
No. I want to know, like, how many do you go to?
Okay. So my goal is always 3 days a week, which I usually meet 3 days a week.
Okay, that's always my goal too. I feel like that's like doable.
I try to go like 5 days a week, but what happens is I'm old and my body starts to like give out on me. But that's why I love my gym, because the music is so loud that like I'm like riding a bike. You can't
hear yourself going.
No, I'm singing along. No, I can't hear myself. The people next to me probably can hear me, but whatever, it's fine. So I'm glad it's going well, the exercising.
It's going really well. So I also want to try like some relaxation techniques. Yes. I heard you went to like a bell ringing.
I did.
Is it like Santa bells? Like, bring me money.
It was not a bell ringing. I went to a sound bath recently. So if you have never experienced a sound bath before, I heard that it was like this life-changing experience, right?
Is that like where you go into the desert and you drink the like elixir and you hallucinate?
I mean, no, not quite.
I've done that. That sounds terrifying.
Went to the Sebastopol Community Center and I laid on my yoga mat, which
that sounds nice.
In hindsight, I probably should have. There was this woman actually. Let me say this. So I went there with my friend Sean, and we are sitting there just kind of observing, like, what did we sign up for?
Yes.
And there's this woman in front of us, and they like packed people in.
So you were like close.
Because it was on winter solstice.
Oh, okay.
So, which I called winter scholastic, which I was like,
you're going to read a book?
That's exactly. She's like, it's solstice. I was like, oh yeah, okay, I got that wrong. So anyway, there was this woman in front of us, and we started to make fun of her in the beginning, like not make fun of her, but just like, oh wow, woman came prepared.
Oh, she had like all her stuff?
She had a foam mat that was like this thick. Because they tell you, like, bring a yoga mat, bring a blanket, get comfortable, bring a pillow if you want. And I was like, okay, yeah, cool. I brought a blanket.
Am I supposed to bring, like, my sleeping bag?
Yeah, I guess. So
was it, like, outdoors or indoors?
No, it was inside the
okay. Because I didn't know if it was, like, solstice if you were, like, looking at the stars.
No, they had, like, little star twinkle lights and stuff.
That's nice.
Yeah, so it was nice. In the summertime, you can do it, like, at the lavender fields on Petaluma Hill and that sort of thing. So, anyway, I was kind of like, wow, that lady came prepared, thinking, well, that's a lot of stuff to bring and have to, like, pack up to go home with this bed. But then when you're like 45 minutes in, you're like, oh, my back is so stiff. I need to go home. But it was
And then the lady was like, oh, this is amazing. I'm on my cozy.
There was a guy snoring next to me. Sean thought it was me snoring. And I was like, I was not snoring in the sound bath. Although I can see how you can fall asleep. Because it really does. Well, do you listen to like meditation music to fall asleep or anything?
It's been like prescribed by my doctor a lot.
You should. Well, because sometimes I'll listen to like, you know, the sounds to go to bed or whatever.
Yeah.
If I'm on
like white noise.
Yeah. Like I have a fan in my room for white noise, but like when I'm on vacation, I'll pull up on Spotify. They have like the
I've had
60-minute music or whatever. So anyway, it's very cool. And at first the sound was like far away because they were on the stage, but then like you close your eyes and they're walking around and there's this like, it was actually
like a cool like aura. Like
yes. And it's loud, like bells, bells chiming, but like bowls and
like I know what you mean.
Bongs and
very like Buddha.
Yes. Yes. It was very serene. I like, I'm not making fun of it. I actually really, really liked it. I can see myself doing it again. Probably not on a regular basis, but I think to go through
cleansing. Probably like because
you're
like a reset, I guess.
Absolutely, because your thoughts go like
that.
Your thoughts go so many different places, and then it just grounds you back to like obviously setting intentions and.
I really like that. I have a hard time relaxing. So, like, even if I go to, like, my favorite thing, like, my family knows is going to the spa. And I love to go with, like, friends. But sometimes I'll even go by myself. And I love to get a massage. But there's always, like, so much going on in my head that, like, it takes me, like, a good 30 minutes into the massage to, like, relax.
Oh, for sure.
And my biggest pet peeve is, like, when the massage people start talking to you. Because I'll start talking back. And I'm like, no, I'm here to, like, not talk to people. Yeah. Like, I'm here to, like, just try to relax. And I will tell them, you know, I'm not good at relaxing. So, like...
But in my head, I'll be like,
I have to do this,
It's too quiet in this room. Somebody needs to break the silence.
Oh my gosh, yes. Have you ever been to hot yoga?
Yeah, my mom's a yoga instructor.
She is? That is so
Although
cool.
she doesn't do hot yoga on a regular, but yes, I have been up to a hot yoga.
It's fun. I went to the one here in town before COVID and everything, and it was fun. And it... To me, that was kind of life-changing. I mean, I thought, like, I called my husband, and, like, and I'm not trying to be funny. I did, so I'm entering hot yoga, and if I die, this is where I am. So you knew, like, the time. And then this one day, I thought, like, I went to, like, 3 or 4 classes, and I was like, oh, yeah, like, I'm, like, so in shape. Mind you, like, I can barely touch my toes. Okay, all these people are, like, pretzels, like, their arms are, like, they come in their, like, little outfits. I'm, like, covered because I'm, like, embarrassed to, like, show.
And
so,
then you're, like, even hotter because you're
I'm in, like, 10 layers and, like, drinking my water. So this one day, it was, like, rock and roll, like, hot Pilates. Have you ever done, like, hot Pilates? It's, like, they're, like, doing sit-ups. I was, like...
I do it, like, once, maybe twice.
Oh, my God. Yeah. I, like, seriously had to, like, leave partway through and then come back in because I thought I was going to die.
So I teach CPR and first aid, and the reason I go to the gym I go to is because they are all trained in CPR and first aid. Because I feel like I will be the one to clap.
Yeah. I mean, it was intense.
It's
it was like, you know, and I was like, I got out and I was like a tomato for like 3 hours after.
Yeah. Like drenched.
But it's a good exercise.
It's a very good exercise.
So I'm working on research.
You're working on research. You should put that on your agenda.
I'm going to put it on my agenda.
Yes.
I think that's good.
And I'm glad.
I need some cleansing and grounding.
Yes.
A reset's good.
Well, I think looking back at our first episode, I've decided that which we've talked about, I twitch and I'm like such like a movement person. Like, is that my ADHD? Like, what is
So
this?
have you ever been like officially diagnosed?
No.
Because I haven't either. My old boss, like years ago, she like basically was like, I think you should go to like the doctor and get some medicine because you have ADHD.
Like,
and I had no idea because
Totally.
I think like when we were growing up, that wasn't like a thing. It was like sit still and behave.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
it was very
absolutely.
much like you behave, you're a good girl, you do this. And, you know, now I look back and I feel like as an adult, mine is more prevalent. It's gotten worse. And I have a daughter with special needs who has ADHD, and researching and reading books and going to specialists has really like opened my eyes. Like, oh my gosh, I have that.
Yeah.
And it's a lot. And it's
No, and I could see, I could see some of the traits. And especially it's just,
well, that.
like I can't sit still, but also my brain is constantly
Going.
like, oh, absolutely, all the time.
But I think that's what makes a mom.
Yes.
Because you have
True.
to multitask.
Yeah. True.
Right? So if you're only focused on like laser focused on like one task, like how do you know like how to pick up your kids and what's for dinner and did you go to the grocery store and oh my god, I have to take the pet here and do this.
Right.
I mean, it's like I feel like I'm like, you know, when you go to school and you do those like clusters, I'm here and then all my like little thoughts go out like a sun, you know.
I totally see that. Even my daughter yesterday, she goes, she said something to me and I hear her in the background, but my mind's thinking of something else and I was so focused, like I was sitting down working. And
you get laser focused.
I get laser focused. And she's like, it's okay. I wasn't saying anything. And I was like, wait, what? You were talking?
Yeah.
Like, it's because, but then I go off track and then I was like, wait, and I ask her a question. She's all, did I not just say that?
Yeah,
and
my
I'm like,
family does that too because they're like, do you hear me? And I'm really in my own world.
Yeah.
And it's because like if I don't like take care of that, then it's just gone in outer space. Like I have to write it down or I have to take care of it.
For sure.
And it's just something like, you know, especially getting into my 40s, I feel like I'm like sensitive to it now because I've diagnosed myself.
Well, especially we're moms and I work from home a lot. So if I'm sitting there focused, taking phone calls or doing whatever I need to do on my computer, and then the kids are just in the background, I'm kind of like, wait, were you talking to me? Were you talking to your brother? Who are you talking to? Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
So
my daughter likes to stand in front of me and go, Mom, 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 Mom. I'm like, I hear you. I'm on the phone.
Yeah. One sec.
She's like counting me down. Like, you know, like look at 5, 4.
Like she's ready to talk.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yes, love it.
Cutie. Okay, well, I'm glad we did our check-ins.
Yes, definitely.
2024 is going well, it sounds like.
Yes.
Woohoo, 2024. And so that's going to bring us to our next section, which is the Swiftie sell of the month.
Ooh, what'd you find?
I found really cool stuff. So I'm going to pull it up so everybody can take a look. This gorgeous, beautiful home is Marky Mark in the Funky Bunch. Did you have that first album that he came out with? Do you remember the cover of it? He had that like white tank top and he had his Funky Bunch entourage.
Oh, yeah.
It was like my favorite. Anyway, he just listed his house recently. And with that house, it is $28.5 million.
Whoa.
Beverly Hills home, which as you can see in the photo, it's gorgeous. Did they film something there?
I don't know.
I think he had like maybe a series or something.
Yeah, he's an entourage.
Yeah. I think he had like a show that they filmed,
Okay.
or maybe it was like MTV Cribs or something like that. Because I feel like I've seen it before.
Yeah, my first thought, like on a $28 million home, because of my husband's like math brain goes, did you know what the monthly property tax is?
Oh my God.
Have you ever thought about that?
Yeah. No, I haven't, but
so
yes.
I always like take like 10%.
Okay.
So
That's a lot.
that's a lot. So are we at like 20?
Well, I mean,
2.8 million or 28,000?
I mean-
280,000?
math is
Mathematician over there.
Math is not
Dylan, we need your math calculation.
Math is not our strong suit, I
No,
guess.
but like, you know,
That's
$28 million.
It's a lot. But I will say, if you can afford a $28.5 million home, I mean, if you have a good buyer's agent,
Yeah.
$28 million, we'll call it that, even. If you can afford that much, then, I mean, I think you can afford that.
I think you can afford the taxes, I guess, yeah.
Okay, so let's give a few of the deets just so you know. It's 1.7 acres. It's over 13,000 square feet of living space, but the decks alone with the views are 1,000 square feet.
Of just deck?
Of just decking, yes.
So is that included or is that extra?
That's extra. That's extra.
That's impressive.
5 bedrooms, 6 bathroom. It's a smart home, which, I mean, I would hope it is, right? It has a theater room as well as many other features, but it also does have a 3,000 square foot 2-story guest house.
I mean, we could like live in there together.
I mean, that's bigger than my house now.
I mean, that's like 2 times the size of my house.
I mean, that's pretty darn amazing. Wow. But I will say he's selling this house because he just purchased another house, which we're not going to feature it, but he purchased a new house for $47 million.
Oh, so the taxes were not that.
I don't think the taxes.
Or the ground maintenance. I'm always like, how much is the gardener, the pool guy?
Well, it has a pool that looks like a basketball court.
Yeah,
it has solar, so he's saving some cash.
I mean, totally saving money on solar, right? Could you imagine your PG&E bill without it? I mean, once again, it's probably like, what, $5,000 a month in PG&E? Just to heat the pool once is probably like $2,000.
I think this whole side area.
Is that a water slide?
Those are multiple water slides.
Oh my God, why would you want to leave?
I mean, you're Mark Wahlberg.
But I guess, the hard part is like when you think about it, you can't really go a lot of places with your family without people taking pictures and like following you around. So like you kind of need to have it for your kids because I would
he's saving money from vacations on his
He's saving money. It's shopping math.
Yeah.
He's totally saving money.
I watched an interview, I think it was on like Ellen or something like that, and he said that he drives a minivan.
Oh my God, really?
Oh yeah. Like I'm sure he has other cars besides that, but he says his everyday car at least when his kids were little when he did this interview, was like a Toyota minivan. I mean, it was souped up, decked out.
But I think you want to like blend in too, right? Like one of my favorite celebrities is like Jennifer Gardner. Like she's like amazing. She's like at school, like at Starbucks. She's got her jeans on, She's does her like home cooking show, but it's like she just wants to like blend in. She wants to be a real mom, taking her kids to school, not relying on nannies or people. I'm sure she has help, but she tries to be that person, and it's hard to I think disassociate.
Yeah.
So he probably gets in his minivan and he's like going to
it's because we see it as.
Do you think he like rocks his own songs?
Yo, I'm Mark Wahlberg.
So this is like the funky bunch on the side.
That would be pretty amazing.
Is that his car magnet?
Marky Mark. Okay, I think we are.
So anyways,
we are crazy.
So my question to you,
but they're normal people.
They're normal people. They want to be normal, and they just are elevated in a different way.
Yes.
So as a listing agent,
yes.
Like, what do you think your prep would be to get that kind of a listing ready? Like, I know what we do.
For sure.
And I think when we get like a $2 million listing, like that's a big deal in Sonoma County, right?
Right.
I mean, a $1 million listing.
Totally.
But like, what do you think you have to do for that?
Well, I would assume that the house is already like staged and beautiful, right? So, I mean, but don't get me wrong, he's going to want to move out, so he'll stage it. So, which we all know about that. But, well, I guess we don't all know about staging. But yeah, stage the house. All the same prep work. We watch Selling Sunset enough. We should know what the prep on a $20 million house is. I'm just kidding. But I mean, that's all drone footage, video footage, like all kinds of different stuff. I honestly, if he were comfortable, I would probably have him be part of the walkthrough shot in a video.
Yeah, right?
Why not?
He could like tell his like favorite things. Like when I'm out at like Coca-Cola, my smart fridge orders it up for me.
Throw a basketball in the hoop?
Yeah, that's actually a good idea.
I rope Marky Mark into it.
I think that would be good.
I mean,
maybe he could like do a little signing at like the open houses. Taking it too far.
Be like, hey. Well, because I think a lot of people,
do you think they sell it furnished though? Because like I know, probably. Like I've seen like a lot of people, like I remember like Shaq had his like Florida house for sale forever. And like it was very like, sometimes like the furniture goes with the vibe of the house.
Totally.
Like, do you think,
probably.
Do you think like you're buying it, you're like, oh, this is so cool. Like I'm buying like Marky Mark's furniture? Or
Maybe.
Depends. Like maybe you take out the special pieces you want to take with you, and then you kind of.
We should call him up.
Yeah.
Ask him.
Yeah, but I'm just wondering like how it's different.
Yeah.
I think one of the hardest things is probably weeding out like the real buyers, I would think, versus I think that would be the hardest part as a listing agent. I could be wrong because when I see these shows,
Oh, for sure.
You're calling your top networks. I'm sure doing broker tours and sending invitations and having like parties and inviting them. But I think it would be you want to like avoid the snoopers.
Yeah, but I think in those types of houses, really, once you get over a certain amount, you should be vetting through all these.
Well, that's
people
what I mean.
anyway. Yeah, absolutely. Like exclusive. Like you don't do an open house. These are all private showing houses.
Do you think you like ask for like a pre-approval?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Or is it just proof of funds?
Proof of funds. I don't think anyone's getting a loan on a $28 million. I mean, I guess maybe somebody would get a loan.
Right? I'm just wondering, like, you're like, can I see your pre-approval?
I would say proof of funds is probably more likely.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, I need to know, like, who your person is.
But if you're selling those houses, you'll have a network of agents who already have their exclusive clients, I guess you can say, who they advertise to. So let's get into this section of, do you think it's better to be a listing agent or a buyer's agent on this side?
Oh, that's really hard because I feel that, this house is a little bit different because you have a celebrity backing it. So, like, you kind of have that as, like, the extra sales point. Like, oh, it's Marky Mark's house, But sometimes, I don't know, I love being a listing agent, as you know, because I have a design and, design background, and I like that. And I feel like we've been lucky enough to, well, lucky and not lucky, to when we are listing agents, that we have a low inventory market. So if you prep your home right and price it right, it sells, usually rather quickly. Yeah. So I love being a listing agent. I feel like I have my systems down. I have my photographers, my video people, I stage. I love that. Yes. So I like that a lot, but I also love being a buyer's agent. So that's hard too, because I love like giving people the keys and the key day and like their first home and like their move up home and like that whole experience, because I feel like it's two different therapists in a sense. in a way, because it's two different experiences. Selling is like kind of a lot more of the upfront work. Do you know what I mean? It's like prepping, inspections, staging, getting your house ready, like not using your kitchen for weeks. Right. Like, showings. And then once you kind of get that accepted offer, you can kind of relax. Yeah. But I feel like buying a house, I don't know. What do you feel like?
I agree. I think I like... a majority of my business is kind of split down the middle, 50-50. Like 50-50. But I think it's important as agents for us to be on both sides because we have sympathy for both. For both, right? And we know the experience of both. So I think that's important. But on this one, I mean, buyer's agent, like, don't get me wrong, I would love to be the listing agent. But I think as a buyer's agent, being able to hand over the keys at Marky Mark's house... the excitement's probably like
well, and I was
crazy.
I was gonna say the hard part about like a house like this is the price point, right? So you could do everything right, but if it's priced too high or you only have a really small pool, as we know, like as the prices go up, typically the pool of buyers goes down.
For sure.
So you can be having like these expectations of sellers, like I want it in every glossy magazine, I want it, videos, I want tours every week. But once you've kind of like gone through your pool and something's not jiving, let's say with the price or whatever, you have to keep spending money.
Absolutely.
And you may not get paid.
You would have way more pressure being a listing agent on this type of house. Yes. I think than being a buyer's agent. Yes. Although the legwork of being a buyer's agent, showing a multitude of houses could be very difficult also. Just not difficult, but you just spend more time showing houses.
And also somebody wanting to spend $28 million, they're probably picky.
Yeah, they're going to be particular. Absolutely, I agree.
They're going to want to make sure everything works.
Absolutely.
And it's probably a little more in depth than a home, a roof, and a termite inspection. There's probably a few more things you might have to do.
Well, I don't think it's something like 136-inch theater room screen is big enough. Yeah. I want to have a 200-inch. Is it inches? Yeah, it's inches. Yeah, it's inches.
Do you think you're like, can I just like spend the night and like try it out? 28 million. Can we have a watch party? Can you throw me in the Eras Tour video? Can we have like a dance party in there?
Maybe that could be part of the broker's tour. That would actually be cool.
So. Anyways, being on both sides, I do that too. I buyers and sellers, but I tend to, like, on a higher priced house, I probably agree with you, being a buyer's agent is probably the better way to go.
Yeah, I think so. But, I mean, Mark, if you want me to list your $28 million house, I would do it anytime.
And I will have a party in your theater room.
And Shannon will be the buyer's agent.
I'll be the buyer's agent.
There we are. Okay, so we're here. We are with our true or false home buying myths, and this is a section where our listeners can ask questions we can address in future episodes. So if you have any questions, always just send them over to us on our Instagram, our Facebook, our TikTok, our YouTube, our email. You can text us. Really any method. And but send us your questions if you have anything true or false that you would like to be addressed in one of our episodes. And we will be releasing new episodes every other Thursday at 9 a.m. You can watch our full podcast on YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Now, Shannon's up with her pull out your magic 8-ball. What is your true or false question?
When you start, looking for a house, you should wait to get pre-approved until you are absolutely ready.
Gosh, no, false.
Why?
You want to know why? So it's always good to have your pre-approval done ahead of time. So for one, you know what your budget is, because that's going to be a huge one. Because I have clients who send me houses, $1 million houses, and they're like, oh my God, we love this house. But maybe they're only approved up to 900. Well, that's a big range in difference. So obviously the pre-approval is going to help. Not to mention, in the market that we're in right now, we are in a seller's market still. So super low inventory. If you want to move on something, which, we're in a slowdown because we're still in that kind of winter time. But if you want to put an offer in our house, we have to be submitting those with our pre-approval letters. So you don't want to find a house that you absolutely love.
And then take 2 or 3 days.
Absolutely, because 2 or 3 days, that house can go into contract. And it sucks as an agent making those phone calls like, sorry. We have to move on to the next, because I've had clients, which I truly believe in what's meant to be is meant to be, but you have to be prepared. So that's my...
I agree. I think I've had pushback in the past because people will say, like, my pre-approval expires and it's only good for so long and I only want to run my credit once. And I had somebody tell me this once. I live in a really big house and I drive a Tesla and a BMW, so I make a lot of money. They should know that.
But your debt to income ratio is probably extremely high. I drive
these are true.
This was the same as the last episode where you said, I drive a Mercedes, so I must be a top agent.
Yes, but these are real things. These are like things that I have to combat.
Yes.
On a daily basis to help you get a house.
Yeah.
That you want to win.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you have to do this. I have one more true or false. This is my favorite.
Okay. I'm ready.
Can you go online?
I already know where this is going.
And pre-approve yourself.
Oh my gosh, please don't. Please don't. Please don't.
But can you?
Yes. I mean, you can. True, you can. But should you? No. False.
So have you ever read the bottom? Well, first of all, have you ever had somebody do that? Because I have.
I have had somebody do it, but anytime I meet with a new client, I sit down and do a buyer's consultation.
Right.
So I had found out that was the case, and I was like, well, let me connect you with a local person. Just
let's get a second opinion. Kind of like a doctor,
yeah.
if they're like, your arm needs to be amputated.
Well, because it was truly just like a screenshot that they like put in, and it was just like, what do they call them? Like those mortgage calculators.
Yes,
like it was
yes.
not even like a full pre-approval. It's just like, this is what your payment would be if you bought this house. And I'm like, no. That's not what we need. So
well, some companies, like, you can go in and it will say, back in the day, it used to say like pre-qual or pre-qualification. Well, nowadays, like, it's gotten very sophisticated where you could go online to my non-favorite online banks, we won't mention them, and you could put in your information like, hi, I'm Shannon, I don't know what my debt to income ratio is, but I make, what do we make, honey? We make, $300,000, blah, blah, blah. Don't factor anything else in. And then they're like, great, you're approved for $1.5 million to buy a house.
Yeah.
But if you scroll down to like page, 6, in the teeny tiny print, it will say, this information has not been verified by a live person. which means you're not pre-approved.
Totally true. Totally true.
I've had somebody that has gone through this and like been upset when I gave them my real life person, not the computer online person, and the person's like, no. Like, you only, are approved for $1 million. And they're like, well, what do you mean? Well, you just bought, 2 electric cars, and you, just took out an equity line for $100,000. Like, all that factors in. But it's not just about how much money you make or what your credit score is. It's like call it like a formula, like a mathematical formula, right? And everybody's different. Like your DNA. Yeah. Everything's different. So you need to get pre-approved before you meet with your realtor.
Well, not to mention too,
or we can help you with a preferred lender.
Just make connections and that sort of thing. But
before you go house shopping,
we have so many local lenders around here that
it doesn't cost you anything to get pre-approved.
And the person who I typically use, they let me know, like, it's a soft pull, and if you do it within the same time frame,
you could do
it's not gonna, and it's not gonna like affect your
year.
credit in some huge negative way. But also know, us as agents, like, we work as a team. So I want the lender, myself, obviously when we put in offers, the listing agent, if I'm working with the buyers, we all work as a team to get through to the end, right? Which is close of escrow. So I need to be in constant communication with the lender. I need to call them, hey, we're writing an offer. Can you send me a new pre-approval letter? Can you update it with this information? Blah, 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 blah. And if it's like an online person, I'm never going to get a hold of anybody.
Well, and
it's
also flip it to the listing side, when I'm sitting down with my sellers and I have 4 offers and I'm pulling them on the table, I actually read every pre-approval letter.
Sure. Yes.
And I actually call every lender.
Yes. As I hope everybody does.
I hope they do.
Yes.
Because I learn a lot by calling the lenders. Yeah. I learn a lot. And I learn, who really wants the house. I have certain questions I ask, like what could their challenges be? And that doesn't mean because you have a challenge, you're not going to get the house. Right. But, like, I'm a team player. Like, we're all a team, like April said. So I want to know, like, okay, if we go with this offer, these are some things that we need to work on together. And
I want to make sure that house ultimately gets to the end goal, which is close of escrow.
Absolutely.
And if you don't have your funding and your lending ready to go, it just shows that you're unprepared with this offer of actually getting this house and to release your contingencies and get it to close.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Absolutely.
Agreed.
And the other thing is to know, like, the phase. And I think this is a really important thing to just add. So there's different phases of a pre-approval. So you can start with kind of submitting all your computer stuff, and maybe not yet. You can kind of get that bait. That's kind of like your pre-qual phase, but they can still. Some people still call it a pre-approval, but they haven't run all your paperwork. So what that means is when your lender says, I need you, April, to upload, what are the things you need? You need your taxes, your pay stubs, your bank statements. Those are like the 3 main things.
And I say everything under the sun.
Well, and sometimes your DNA and your firstborn. I mean, people have given up a kidney in these situations. But anyways, every now and then. But you need those basic things to kind of get started. Yes. And then they can kind of see, like, your price range. Maybe you need to pay off your car. Maybe you need to call a couple things, get your credit up. Whatever you need to do, they will help you. Yes. But if you wait till the last minute, there's no time to do any of that. And finally, I think the most important thing is to know if you do all that in advance, they can actually run it all the way through, which is called an underwritten pre-approval, and that's what I look for as a listing agent. Is when all that's been verified, or basically your employment, you've run all that, they're ready to go. All they need is a preliminary title report usually and a contract, and they can usually close in sometimes 10 days, 15 days, and they're ready to go. So as listing agents, that's what we're looking for, and that's why when you meet with us as a buyer, we're going to tell you these things because we're competitive. Like, we want to win. We want to get you that house. And
absolutely.
If you have all that stuff done, we can help you win.
Well, especially if it's your dream home, like that's going to just give you more.
And in your neighborhood, sometimes those houses don't come up. There's people that are like, I've been waiting to get in this neighborhood for 3 years, and I don't want a fixer up, or I want one that's done. And here it is, but you haven't started.
Yeah.
And if you are at that underwritten phase, you can beat out cash offers. I've done it a lot. People always think cash wins. Not always. An underwritten pre-approval is just as good as cash.
Yes.
in many cases.
Yeah.
So,
And if you have an agent who writes a nice, clean offer, you communicate well, absolutely you can be out in all cash.
So that's my true and false today.
I love it.
Yeah, I think those are good.
I love it. Good job. Okay, cool. So let's get to our next section, which is tips and trends. So Shannon, I'm going to leave this to you because the designer.
So if you need your home stage, just let me know. I have a full warehouse right now, so we can get out and get you ready for the new year. So we talked about kind of my inspirations, because I like to borrow ideas and I get inspired by pretty things and people that make it look easy. And so I talked a little bit about Clea and Joanna last time. So this is the home edit. Once again, these are just my personal favorites. I've been following them for a few years. They have a line at the Container Store, and now they even sell stuff at Walmart at a much better price. You can order online. They do. And all those like clear containers, that they use.
I had no idea.
So they have a magazine, which I love. But this is my favorite book. So this is like their first version. It's kind of dirty because I use it all the time, but it references how to be.
Do you really use this book? Like
I do it. Like if I want to clean my closet, I'm like, what would Clea and Joanna do? Oh, so like something like this. Like we did this for like my kids, like Barbie stuff. You kind of do this, and
Such a great idea.
They sell this one was actually called American Girl Obsessed, but mine was Barbie. But they kind of just give you like different sections and kitchen, fridge. I've done the fridge one before.
I would love to have a nice organized fridge, but I will
hard
say,
to keep up.
Yeah, my fridge is like a hodgepodge. Like I would love it to be. I will say this. In my refrigerator, like I'll put all of my Diet Cokes right on the shelf because I drink way too much Diet Coke. It's unfortunate. But then I'll put my kids' drinks. Like, if they're all in the line, and then my kids go in there, I'll be like, hey, babe, can you put more Diet Coke in the fridge? And it's like all of the shelves, and it's like everywhere, and it drives me absolutely mad. So as much as I would want an organized fridge, but I also feel like you have to have like a really big, nice.
You have to have like a Kardashian style fridge.
Yes.
But I did buy like some of the containers, and I did kind of put like snacks. So like they have like the kids like stuff on the bottom shelf. Yeah. I try. I get frustrated because people don't put it back, but I'm not always the best at putting things back either. I admit it.
I feel like I'm good with putting things back. It's everybody else who's not good.
Yeah. I feel like I just don't have enough space to put things back, and my husband says it's because when I get rid of one thing, I bring home 3 things.
Yes. Anytime I have a new bag for like clothes or whatever, my husband's like, that means you're going through your closet, right? And I was like, no, absolutely not. Like, what if I lose 20 pounds?
Yeah. See?
Or what?
Those jeans were expensive.
I'm like, what if I gain 20 pounds? Like I have jeans. I have small, medium, large, extra large.
Oh, you're elastic?
Oh, I do. Yes. Yeah. I've got like the whole
I think I'm almost in the elastic ones.
But I'm starting to realize like, I don't think I'll ever be in the beginning stage ever again. Like,
it's really hard to get rid of those like little 24s.
I know. And it was like, oh, I wish I was 24. At some point in my lifetime. But no, like I feel like you have to let it go. That's the hardest part.
It is. So they came out with this last book, and this is my favorite. This one's like a little bit more realistic, and you'd probably like it. Called
Did she cut her hair?
Well, she had cancer.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so she has a great. I've been following her on Instagram, but like her story, she's had cancer, and so she's kind of had her battle, but she's still working through it. But this one's about staying organized, and what I like about it is for people like me, it gives you like tips of how to stay organized. So this one's really cool. But I wanted to show you up here. So Sarah, who works on my team with me, we did a little project in my garage because I couldn't stand not having I have those wire shelves. Yeah. So we have our before what it looks like, and then our after of what it looks like.
So great.
And we got the clear. I ordered all of the Target and combined, containers from Walmart. I tried it out, and then the labels so that now you can see my before and after, and where I put my paper towel.
So pretty and cute.
It's so pretty. And then now my husband's like, I don't know how to put any of this stuff. I'm like, it has a label. So, anyways,
use the label system, honey.
So, anyways, it helps me. I'm trying. I'm not the best at it. But if you want to get inspired for the new year, they also have a Netflix show. Once again, I'm not promoting their products. They're not sponsoring us, but
But
if you just, I tell my clients this a lot, like when they're going to move or pack, the method that many of you probably already know is you have your keep pile, your donate pile, and then your throwaway pile. And it's pretty amazing. I did this when I was sick with COVID a few weeks ago, and I started my closet, which was a tremendous undertaking. But I ended up
when your bed ends with like stacks and stacks and stacks.
I mean, and I had like, the black like garbage bags, the yard ones.
Yeah.
And I had 2 of those because I kind of did that. I'm like, I can't even get my thigh in this jean, like it's never happening.
That was this morning for me.
Yeah. So, and then, clothes that I've had and, sometimes you're like, oh, that's sentimental. And, but it's time to go. I'm never wearing that shirt again.
Well, I love it. And especially with the new year.
That's kind of one of my
good
resolutions. It's like a cleansing, It's not just your body, but sometimes it's your space.
Yes.
That,
well, because
that's
also,
important.
like for me, I work from home a lot. So if my space is like chaos around me, like, the hodgepodge of, my house is not clean all the time.
Oh,
like.
It would be crazy. You have to have people. Like that live with you to like be cleaning up after your little people.
Correct.
My little people think that they take one area and then it turns into a tornado, and then instead of picking it up, they go to the next area and make it a tornado.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just like, well, your counters become drop spots for everything.
Yes. Even though I made a drop spot place, that doesn't work.
No, it never works that way. Like, my husband thinks his wallet belongs one spot, and then his keys are the other spot. And
even though you probably have like a little like area that you're like hang your keys.
Well, we have like when you walk in, we have like a counter. Yeah. But that's exactly like it's just nice to have that organized space, just because your focus just stays there.
I think
you don't have that worry and that like mom guilt that you really should be doing the dishes.
Well, and that's
but we're
the
working
thing.
and we're over here.
ADD and ADHD, like I'm finding is my husband's very like neat and organized, and he's very much a minimalist and I'm not. And so I think like he's right though, like when my space is clean and I don't see clutter, like I can actually like take a breath and relax.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
And so I'm trying to be more mindful of that, and it is a mindset. So I get inspired by these books because I'm like, if I just get my book and see how they do it, then I'm going to go out here into this mess of a tornado and I'm going to figure out how to like put it away.
Like I have a desk area at home, and what happens is everyone's like, oh, just put that on mom's desk. Oh, just go put that on mom's desk. Oh, just put that on mom's. So my stack goes like, and then what happens, like it's a designated space for me to work, but then
you're going to the table.
I go to the kitchen table.
That's right.
I go to the kitchen table. And then I take a Zoom call with the client or something, and it's like my kitchen in the background, where ideally I would be at my desk, but my desk is full of like there's not even a counter space. So anyway.
So hopefully, people want some inspiration.
Yeah, I love it. All right.
Should we wrap it up?
I think so.
Yeah.
So we are going to conclude episode 2 of our podcast. And if you have any questions and you want to have them answered, remember, just send those in. But otherwise,
we'll see you next time.
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
Bye.